Hello and welcome all. You are watching Football Daddy. I am Ankit Agarwal and I am joined by my good friend and co-host for all of the videos here at Football Daddy. I have Saksham Arya with me. Saksham, how are you doing?
Hello, Ankit. I'm fine. I hope everyone is doing fine. Very
Yes,
exciting
yes.
news to share with you guys, and I hope you guys are looking forward to it.
Saksham has set the stage. We have some exciting things to share with you. We are going to be talking about the transfer market roundup. Yes, we are going to be talking about all the players in, out of the transfer market this summer in the Premier League. We're going to be looking at some of the major teams, their signings, and how they're doing 4 games in. So, without any further ado, let's kick right in to our talking about the first team in the transfer market. And we are talking about none other than Manchester United. As a Manchester United fan, I have a lot of things to say, but as an Arsenal fan, I would like Saksham your opinion on how do you think Manchester United has fared in the transfer market this season?
I think Manchester United this season has somehow managed to pull out one of the most disastrous transfer market mishaps we've ever seen. The last moment deal like Edison Cavani, I think that was just done to save the face in front of Manchester United fans. I don't see any plans or mindset behind these players. They don't make a lot of sense, really.
Yeah, as you said, it does not make any sense the signs that we have made so far. In the beginning of the season, in the beginning of the transfer season, about 2 months ago, we were looking at players such as Jack Grealish, Upamecano, and of course Jadon Sancho. We spent so much time
Yeah.
getting these players in, getting the transfers in, but to no fruition. I remember last year, this time, I think Ed Woodward came out, did an interview, or someone from the United team did an interview and talked about how they're learning from their mistakes. But alas, I don't think that they are learning from their mistakes. Players like Edinson Cavani, who is 33 and a half years old, washed up player who scored only 4 goals last season. He's going to be coming here at £200,000 per week wages to do what? He's going to be a player as a second striker to Anthony Martial. You don't expect Anthony Martial to go to bench and be happy about it. Of course not. What do you think about Van de Beek? Now, Van de Beek was brought in as a replacement to Jack Grealish because we could not get Jack Grealish. Van de Beek was not done by Ed Woodward. Let me make it very clear. It was Edwin van der Sar who basically handed him over to us. Alex Telles, a good attacking option from the left back, but we had Luke Shaw. Of course, we wanted some competition in the left back, but I don't know. Pellistri, I don't know. I've never seen him play. Maybe he's a good player. I do not know. But overall, it's just a complete chaos in the market. We did not get the players that we wanted. We have not bagged our manager, and we expect to go. We expect him to go to a season ill prepared. I don't see how Manchester United is going to save their face this season. It's the same story again, but yeah, as you said, completely horrifying horror show in the transfer market. I hope they do better. I hope all of these players click and do good for United, but I don't see that's happening. So yeah, it's a flop for Manchester United this transfer season. I think we should move on to the next team now. The next team on our agenda is Chelsea. Saksham, let us take us through your thought process on how Chelsea have fared in the transfer market.
They look like the real title contenders this season. I mean, when you look at the list of players they bought in, Thiago Silva, Chilwell, Havertz, Zach, Werner, they've covered all the major
Yeah.
portions of the field. When you look at defense, they bought in Chilwell and Thiago Silva. Well, I mean, Silva is way past his prime, but we all know that his role here is to use his leadership skills to
Yeah.
bring that sort of balance and stability in the defense. Chilwell, he's a really young player, but he has won all aerial fights he's had this season. He's so aggressive. He has done like 13 crosses in 4 matches, and that's crazy. And when you come to Ziyech, I mean, he's such an exciting player to watch. You all know how well he played in Ajax against Real Madrid.
In the
Uh,
Champions League quarterfinal. Yeah.
yeah, and he has this amazing 3.7 key passes per game, which is amazing. And when you combine Zach with Werner, I think Chelsea can easily be one of the highest scoring teams in the Premier League this season. We also have Havertz. He's a really young player, 21, but he's definitely already one of the hot stars of the entire continent. I think that's it from Chelsea, but
I'll just add one
I
more
mean,
point to for Chelsea that
hmm,
for all the FPL managers looking at the video, I feel your pain for having Timo Werner till now. Hopefully he fires, but till now he has been shooting blanks.
hmm,
Hopefully that turns around soon. It will be better for the FPL
yeah.
managers and the Chelsea team as well. Saksham here is an Arsenal fan. Saksham, tell us what do you think Arsenal have done in the market?
today morning when I woke up, I didn't know whether we had been able to sign Thomas Partey or not. But I prayed to God, no, I didn't. But still, I'm so happy that we somehow managed to pull it off. News was that we had to sell our mascot just to sign in Thomas Partey, but somehow Mesut Ozil
Yeah.
have helped us redeem that mascot. But that's something for later, right? Oh, okay. Here it is.
Let's talk about William, Gabriel, and Alex.
Willian is way past his prime again. When Arteta bought him, we all knew what role he was going to play. He can do really good in diagonal passes and all. And when you look at the center midfield, we need really creative players. Like we have managed to keep Ceballos for one another season. And Willian with him, I mean, we can produce some really good chances, especially when we have Aubameyang and Lacazette in the front. Moving on to Gabriel Magalhaes, out of 3 matches that he has played, he has already won 2 Man of the Match trophies from our club, and that's incredible. Alex, I think the only reason he was brought to the team is as a replacement for Martinez, who left the team for Aston Villa. I think he can play in Europa League as well. He's a good goalkeeper with okay-ish record.
About Martinez, I'll just say that he is a gift that keep on giving for the FPL managers. He has been getting such high scores all the time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Martinez. As I was saying, we were talking about the Gunnersaurus. Mesut Ozil posted this post on Facebook a few hours ago. I just wanted to ask you one quick question, yes or no answer. Okay, yes or no answer. I just wanted to know, do you think Mesut Ozil has done this telling that he is going to pay Gunnersaurus's fee till the time he is an Arsenal player just to force the board to keep him and not sell him in the next transfer window? Yes or no answer, Saksham?
No.
No. You think Mesut Ozil really wants help and he's staying in the club?
Eventually, any player would have done this, and it's really great that Mesut Ozil has put forth such a charitable effort.
Sure. Gunnersaurus, we love you. We have all been there for you. So yeah, we have come to Tottenham Hotspur. What do you say about Tottenham Hotspur, the team that thrashed United 6-1 at home recently? I am still appalled by that match. But coming back to their transfer business, I think they have done a fairly good business. Mourinho has gone in there. He was unhappy with United and how they did not support him to get the players that he wanted. He went into Tottenham middle of the season. He helped them, kind of supported them. Right now he's in his first full season. Daniel Levy, the CEO of Tottenham Hotspur, has absolutely supported him so brilliantly. He has been able to bring players such as Reguilon, Doherty, Vinicius, Hojbjerg, and of course the great Gareth Bale from Real Madrid on loan. I think one thing that I would like to say is Pochettino was very stubborn in his ways of helping the youth to come up in the scene. He was not too keen on buying players from outside, and that was something that I think was holding Tottenham back in winning those trophies. Mourinho has gone in there. The board is supporting him. He has gotten the players that he wants, and there's no reason that Mourinho cannot help Tottenham Hotspurs win their first silverware in God knows how long. Probably FA Cup, EFL, something. I think Tottenham Hotspur are going to win some trophy because Mourinho never leaves a club trophyless. Coming back to the transfers, Doherty, a very good midfielder. Vinicius, they wanted a backup striker. They've got him. Bale, a legend. He wanted to leave Real Madrid. Tottenham wanted him. They've got him. Hojbjerg, he has been playing really fine, but he really needs to grow a little bit more. Reguilon, a brilliant left back from Real Madrid, was playing at Sevilla. He played against United in the Europa League semi-final as well. United were after Reguilon, could not get him because of transfer fees blunder. Again, Ed Woodward masterclass, would you say? So I think Tottenham Hotspur have done a fairly good business. If Bale can perform, Bale can click, the Son, Bale, Kane front three are going to rip teams apart. They're going to score a lot of goals. That's my prediction. Saksham, take us through your thoughts on Liverpool, the great Liverpool team, one of the best Premier League teams of our generation. What do you think they have done in the transfer business?
They already have so many great players. So before going into the transfer market, I think what Jurgen Klopp was seeking was to add in more players, quality players, so that he can extend this entire squad line to play more cups like UEFA Champions League and other domestic cups. And that's why I think that's the main reason why he bought in Thiago. mean, he already has some world-class midfielders, but
Yeah.
Thiago can be a really great super sub who
Mhm.
can help them win matches and still keep up this team morale and stamina. Diogo Jota, I mean, he's been such an exciting player to watch. He's, I think, made one appearance. He's so exciting to watch, especially because he takes so many shots from outside the box. And Simicas, he might take some time to adapt, but again, he'll just be there for, I mean, how can someone replace Robertson and Alexander Arnold
Alexander.
in the wing? Overall, a good transfer season from Liverpool.
Yeah, as you said, I think Liverpool already had a very stable squad. They just wanted to bring in players to help them keep a
Yeah.
sustainable team for a longer time. I just wanted to add something about Diogo Jota. I saw him playing for Wolves last season. Nuno got really the best out of him. He was playing such a brilliant role as a winger for Wolves. If he can continue his performances under Liverpool, he's going to have a very successful career at Liverpool. So let's move on to the next team. Who do we have here? We have Manchester City. Now, Manchester City is a curious case this season. Last season, they spent big on defense. This season, you would have expected them to have a stable defense, but no, they also went in for defense this season. They've got Nathan Ake from Bournemouth. They've gotten Ruben Dias from Benfica. Interesting quote from Benfica coach on Ruben Dias. He said that you're living a bigger club than Manchester City. We're smaller financially, but a bigger club than Manchester City. Um, Hard words. But about the Nathan Ake and Ruben Dias, now they have combined spent about 400 million plus pounds on defenders, just below US spending on defense. So that's a lot of money spent on defense and still looking pretty shaky, to be honest, against Leicester and Leeds and whatnot. They've not looked very solid till now in the season. About Ferran Torres, I saw him against Leeds. In the first 10 minutes, he looked promising. He was doing these nutmegs against Dallas, but after that, he was completely gone. I could not find him anywhere on the pitch. He was taken off for Fernandinho, I think, in the second half. I do not know if these signings are going to be proven good or not, but they're good players. I loved Nathan Ake in Bournemouth last season. I think he can perform at the top level. They need some time, and Guardiola is known to give his new signings some time to settle in. So yeah, under Guardiola, these players are going to be performing good. But if the defense does not click, yes, Akshan, please go ahead. Yeah.
I'd like to add one thing. If Pep does not perform well this season, he might get sacked. And when he does,
Oh yeah.
there's such a good spot waiting. If a really quality manager, like you can see what Carlo Ancelotti is doing with Everton. If a
Absolutely.
quality manager comes in and takes the role in Manchester City club, I think this squad is going to be lit. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne, they have good strikers. And these new signings, they are interesting, but
Yeah.
under Pep, they just fall straight, I think so, in the later half of the season. But let's see. These are interesting signings. We'll see how it
It'll
goes.
be interesting to see um, whom does Manchester City find to be a more quality manager than one of the greatest managers of our generation, Pep Guardiola. Come on,
Yeah,
you cannot
yeah.
argue.
Like
The
last
greatest.
match when I was watching against Leicester, it was really disappointing. You could see Kevin De Bruyne how his face was. He was really really sad with
Against
how his
Leeds,
team
right?
was performing.
Leeds.
Yeah, yeah, sorry. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Against Leeds, it was so disappointing. He was giving his all, obviously, and all the team players were. But I mean, it must hurt that you are the world's greatest midfielder right now, and your team is not winning anything.
So yeah, other notable signings. So we have talked about some top six teams, the top six standard teams of the Premier League. But I think this season more and more different teams are coming and challenging the standard top six for the position. Everton right now, 100% winning streak. Aston Villa, 100% winning streak. Saksham, do you think, apart from these top six teams, some other
Mhm.
notable signings that we should be taking care of for the Premier League this season? And of course, I would like to go first on James Rodriguez. I think we both talked about it before coming to do this
True.
video. Brilliant signing, 3 goals, 2 assists, 4 chances, 16 crosses. Has been a phenomenon in Everton. But apart from him, some of the signings that you would like to take us through in Premier League right this season.
Aston Villa just signed Ollie Watkins,
Yeah,
and he's just 24 years old for 28 million pounds. Real. Uh,
scored a
he has
hat trick
already
against
scored
Liverpool.
3 goals.
Hat-trick against
Yeah, 3
Liverpool.
goals in 3 appearances. And the interesting thing is, the 3 goals that he scored, one was from his right foot, one was from his left foot, and the other was his header. That
The
has to
Holy
be the Holy
Trinity.
Trinity.
Holy
That's,
Trinity.
that's incredible. It's so funny. I think he was the last goal that he scored from his header. That was just for the stats. This is perfect. But yeah, Everton has done really good this transfer season. Carlo Ancelotti. I was an AC Milan fanboy back when Kaka was playing for AC Milan, and I have seen him such an exciting attacking team to watch. So yeah, props to Everton fans and Everton team as well.
They've also gotten Decore. I do not know his full name, but Decore as well. He's been playing really well for Everton this season.
Okay.
But apart from that, I think one signing that I would like to, you've already mentioned Watkins and all. You were also telling me about other signings like Berkeley in Aston Villa from Chelsea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Berkeley did sign in from Chelsea, but till now he did not have any impressive on-field display.
Okay.
There's one more player that Aston Villa signed, Matthew Cash. He's a right back. He's done 13 clearances in the 3 matches that he's played, and that's impressive. Right now, when you look at Aston Villa, how aggressive they are and how strong they seem in the defense, I think you have to give credit to the defense. Like when you look at Liverpool, the defense is so solid that the midfielders and strikers can push so forward, right? So defense is a really integral part of a good offense.
Understandable. I think 2 players that I would like to mention here are 2 Leeds players that I really liked. Harrison from Manchester City on loan to Leeds. He's been playing really good. I saw him against Liverpool, against Fulham. He played and against Sheffield United. Yeah, so he played really well. He could not play against City because it's his parent club. Also, Helder Costa, whom Leeds bought from Wolves on permanent deal this season. He was with them last season on loan. He has been playing phenomenally both on the left and the right wing. Other players, Leicester has done some good business. I think Castagne has gone into Leicester or Aston Villa, some team, right? Castagne, he has been really well. Yeah. So he's been playing really well, giving good returns on the money on FPL as well. So good signings. Interesting transfer summer business. We are just 3 months away from January transfer business. How do you think, I know we are not equipped to answer that question right now, but it'll be interesting to see how teams adjust to the transfer window that just concluded and the January transfer window that is going to be open in less than 3 months. It was great talking about all the transfers. I hope you guys also enjoyed watching this transfer roundup. So tell us more about who are your favorite signings of Premier League so far. Who do you think your club should have signed? Who do you think has been the best signing for your club so far? Or if there's anything that you would like to let us know, please comment all of your opinions down in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're also on Facebook, Football Daddy FC, and we're also on Instagram, The Football Daddy. Thank you so much for being with us, for seeing this video. Saksham, any last words for our viewers?
I just like to add one more transfer deal that we've done.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you. So we have somehow managed to keep Aubameyang in our team, and that's crazy. I mean, this has to be the best signing of the entire Premier League. He was just 2 goals shy from winning the Golden Boot. And I'll just give you some basic stats. Out of 89 appearances, he has scored 55 goals and 13 assists. And I mean, that justifies why he's the highest paid Premier League player right now. So that has to be the best signing. But I'd like to ask you one thing. What do you think is the best signing this season?
Best signing this season so far, James Rodriguez, I think.
All right.
I don't think I need to ask you. For you, it's always going to be Aubameyang, even though he's only extended his contract.
Yeah, it has to be.
So on
yes,
that,
but he was going to leave. The only reason he stayed is because we somehow managed to win the FA Cup, and now we're in the Europa League, right?
So I think this is going to go on forever. If we let Saksham talk about Aubameyang, this is going to go on forever right now. But this has been the greatest post-credit scene ever after Marvel. Marvel cannot beat this post-credit scene. Thank you so much for being with us. This is Football Daddy. Please follow, like, share, and subscribe. We will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.